In this video, we are going to learn four most basic tactical ideas in chess, which is fork, pin, skewer, and discovered attack. To start with one of the most basic idea in chess, which is fork, or also called double attack. This tactical idea includes giving two threats at the same time. For example, knight here on e7. This creates a check and also the attack on the queen. What happens is that because we are giving two threats at the same time, because our opponent has only one move to play, they cannot deal with both of the threats. Hence, here they have to defend the check and lose the queen. The basic idea of fork is to create two threats at the same time. Now we'll look it at from other pieces as well. First, we saw from the knight, and this is knight is one of the most tricky piece and one of the most used piece to create the forks. But fork can create it with any of the pieces. Here, if we play the pawn to f4, the fork is created by attacking two pieces, and black cannot deal with both threats, so black just gives one piece up. Another example of a pawn fork attacking two pieces, and that will lead to win of one. Coming here, rook here to d6, creating the fork. Bishop can create the fork. Queen can create the fork as well. Here, king and rook. Now this is about the fork. Fork, we can say it is the tactical idea in which we attack two pieces. Now double attack can be just a more broad term of this. It could not be, it may not be just attacking two pieces. It's just generally giving two threats. So here we will look, we may not call this this move a fork, but it is a double attack. Now if we go with our knight to d5, we'll attack the rook on f4 and threaten the c7 square. And if we go to c7 square, that will create another fork. So it is giving a threat and attacking the piece. This is an example of a double attack. And again, these are two threats we given, and our opponent can't deal with both of them at the same time. So they had to lose the exchange there. Another puzzle in which we will look at this idea. This is a tricky one. Here, with knight to h6, we are creating a double attack. We are attacking, threatening to play queen f7 and creating a threat on the rook as well. And here black won't be able to take our knight because bishop to h6 will lead to a checkmate. So this is another example of a double attack. And black just gives up here and gives up the queen to defend the checkmate. Then goes rook to d5. So the double attack of fork is one of the most basic tactic in chess, and it is fundamental to other complex tactics also. And it can lead to gain of material advantage lot of times, especially in the beginner games, intermediate games. Now coming to a pin. Now with this example, we can understand what the pin is. If bishop here goes to d4 square, it will pin the knight. As the name suggests, pin. Pin means the piece won't be able to move. Or you can say moving a piece will lead to disadvantage. There are two kind of pin in which There is a pin, absolute pin, in which piece cannot move at all because this pin is created against the king. And if we play bishop to d4 here, moving the knight won't be possible because that will be an illegal move. And here it leads to gain of material. We'll look at another example of absolute pin. Here, playing bishop to a3 is creating an absolute pin, pinning the rook against the king. Any pin that is created against the king is an absolute pin. Now coming to the next one, it's the relative pin. Pin created against any other piece is called a relative pin. Here, if we play bishop to c3, rook can move anywhere, but that will lead to the loss of material behind it. So in this type of pin, a pin piece can legally move, but that will lead to a material loss. Here creating this pin, queen unpinned itself, but we gain 2 points, gaining an exchange. Now there is another concept. Sometimes we cannot directly attack the pin piece, because that is protected enough, but attacking it with some lower piece will gain to the material here. Like pawn to f4 attacks the knight with the pawn, and because this piece was pinned, it could not have been defended. So that's about the pin. Coming to the next one, a skewer. Skewer is, you can say, a kind of opposite of the pin, and there are two types of skewer as well. Absolute skewer, as the name suggests, it's against the king. If you attack the king, king has to move. That's why it's called absolute skewer. So in absolute pin, piece can't move, and in absolute skewer, it's against the king, so king has to move. Now opposite of this will be a pin. For suppose the king was there or queen was here. Then if we do this, that will be a pin. So basic idea of skewer is you attack the more powerful piece in the front, and that will expose that has to move and expose the piece behind it. Like in this case, again looking at the skewer over here, it's a two move tactic here. First, giving this little skewer, forcing the king to capture, and then creating a skewer. So we sacrifice the bishop to gain the queen here. Now coming to a relative skewer, the skewer that is created against any other piece in the king. Here it is against the queen. So if we attack from bishop to f3, queen has to move, but that will expose the rook behind it, that we will be able to take and gain the material value. Another very important tactical idea, double check. It's a discovered attack or discovered check. Sometimes it leads to a double check. Now this tactical idea, let's start with a discovered check. We move the piece and check is given from the piece behind it. That's what we mean by discovered check. We move the blocking piece, and piece behind it starts giving a check. So here this tactic is leading to the win of a queen here. Double attack. Now we move the piece and starts attacking the queen behind it. So that's will call a discovered attack. Again an example, this will be a discovered attack. Here we move the pawn and bishop starts attacking the rook. This is again a very powerful tactical line you can use to win a lot of material. Sometimes just a game like here. If you play this, this is creating a double check. If you play knight to g6, and after this, capturing the rook will just lead to a checkmate here. So this covers our 4 tactics in the chess. These are the very important fundamentals of all advanced tactics. And one of the most fundamental ideas here are war, pin, skewer, and cover attack that we'll be using. Yeah, that's all for today's video. Thanks for watching.